and radio. Now, as I've said several times already this afternoon, the Chancellor's budget is indeed coming up on Thursday, and the AA is urging him to extend the 5p fuel duty cut. The motoring organisation's pushing for the reduction to be extended beyond March due to the continued high pump prices and the cost of living crisis. The AA said that with petrol now in the region of £1.65 a litre and diesel close to £1.90, compares with £1.67 and £1.79 a litre just before the fuel duty kicked in. I am thrilled to bits to be joined now by another good friend of mine, Edmund King, who is the president of the AA, and there he is live. Ironically, Edmund, this was a measure that was introduced by the Prime Minister back in the spring when he was still Chancellor. The Sun newspaper this morning thinks that you've probably got it in the bag.
Well, yeah, good afternoon, Alastair. Good to be with you. Yeah, what we wanted to do was to remind the Prime Minister and indeed the current Chancellor that they did introduce this cut a year ago, almost a year ago, in March, 5p a litre, which was very welcome. But at the time, it said it was only until March next year. So we are stressing to the now Prime Minister, who was the Chancellor, that prices are as high, if not higher. In fact, diesel prices, I saw last night, actually, diesel at a main garage at 194.5 a litre. So but that is actually Edmund, higher.
Yeah, no, I've got those numbers, and I alluded to them in my intro. But there's another point to this as well that I know you feel very strongly about, and ironically, so does the new Education Minister, Robert Halfon, and that is you can do this measure, which Rishi did back in the spring, but you've got to kick what's-its to make sure that every person selling petrol and diesel does it, and does it on day one. Don't you need to have a sub-clause that says it's not just something that would be nice to do, it's something you've got to do right now?
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking to government for a long while about fuel price transparency. And in Northern Ireland, the Consumer Association publish all of the prices so that you can compare them. And if there's a duty reduction, you can see if that duty reduction has been passed on. Now, we talked to the government about that because it is faintly ridiculous that the same garage 20 miles down the road can charge 5 or 6p a litre more. So we do need fuel price transparency. But what we're saying to government, because the prices are high, they're getting more tax anyway from VAT.
Sure.
And therefore, they cannot afford to freeze it. So we don't want to see any increase in duty at all. And we don't want to see the 5p cut reinstated.
All right, final point, and you talk about taxation and the government are doing very well indeed, thank you very much indeed, out of motorists. The same piece in The Sun that is kind of thumbs up for you guys and your campaign suggests that Jeremy Hunt may say that if you own an electric car, come Thursday, you're going to have to start paying road tax like the rest of us who've got either petrol or diesel cars. A, do you think that's likely? And B, is it good, bad or indifferent?
Yeah, I mean, what we've heard from the speculation is that car tax or vehicle excise duty might be introduced for electric cars from 2024-25. So not next year, because the government is keen for there still to be incentives for people to go electric. And one thing we found is with the increasing home electricity costs, it has actually delayed about 70% of people from going electric. If you can go electric, it is still cheaper to run. So at some stage, we know tax will come along. The government is not going to throw away £35 billion a year. But we think it will be a bit too soon now. You've still got to have incentives to get more electric cars on the market. Sure. And then you get more used cars on the market when they're sold.